Good afternoon, morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Virtual Touring Car Cup, season number 2, round number 4, here at the Scottish car breaker that is Bannochbrae. My name is King-Kodiak and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. Now, we are doing this a little bit differently to the races that we have had thus far in the season. So instead of the standard 3-race setup that we have been running, this one is going to be 2020. So it's 20 minutes qualifying and a 20-lap race. So it's going to be about a 50-minute event. So it's the endurance event, essentially, of the season. So a little bit different to how we've done it and how was previously advertised, but that is how it is going to run from here on out. So this is how the event normally runs. So again, as a reminder to those that haven't seen how the VTCC runs, it is, of course, the touring cars E-Series on Project Cars 2, 8 events over 11 weeks from November through to January. Normally a 3 by 15-minute event, except for, I haven't updated this panel, it says round 5. That was how we were originally going to do it. But it is tonight is going to be the endurance. My apologies. I did actually ask for this panel to be updated and I forgot to put the updated version in. That's my mistake. Pro-Ams are indeed split into separate lobbies. Now this time we have a separate streamer for the AM lobby, Husky over on Twitch. So he is dealing with the AM side. I of course am dealing with the Pro side. This week we will swap over as weeks go on. So Facebook and Instagram for all information relevant to this series. That is the calendar. The calendar remains unchanged. So here we are, round 4, halfway in the season. We have a week's break next week and then 2 more races to see out 2020. What a weird year it has been. And then 2 more rounds to kick off 2021 in a grand old style. So this is how our pro contingent looks. The spotters guide hasn't changed for those that have been with us before. So again, a wide range of wonderful colours, always to expect, and that is how the championship standings look. And with Mr. Gillone securing all 3 wins last time out, he takes the top of the table, but again chased hard by our current champion, Mr. Jameson. Only 5 points over there, and really there's not a lot down to Roy Grassi. We still have 5 rounds to run, including this one. So Roy Grassi in 3rd, Mark Kelly 4th, Aaron Large 5th. David Moll had some more success last week in 6th, and then Jay Daniel 7, Toby Owen 8, Stuart Neal 9, Brandon Van Heeden getting some points on the board in 10th position. The AMs, now we won't be seeing AMs on this particular stream, but that is their spotters guide. That's how they will look heading into their race, and their championship standings are like so. JP McKinley spreading his wings up front, but the Celtic Bromance pair have been split by the ever-charging Finlay Swarbrick. 18 points behind JP, but only 1 point between himself and Kiki Mack. Then a bit of a gap between Kiki and Chris Callaghan. And then it's still in very short order thereafter. So Chris Callaghan 4th, Andrew Whitehead 5th, Carl Auden 6th, McRae Williams 7th, Harry Quinn 8th, Byron Zimmerman 9th, and Matt Webb on the bottom of the top 10 board. For those wishing to see from a driver's perspective, again, same 4 as we had last week. So Finlay Swarbrick, Kev Straw, Kiki Mack, and Aaron Large will be your streamers for this particular event. All right, then let's head into the lobby then, shall we? Let's get our volume back on. Where are we? What is going on? My computer has been acting against me. That's why you saw me having to Alt-Tab into the game at the end of the intro. But I just need to unmute the game. There we are. Perfect timing for when someone flew by. 15 races with us at the moment. We are expecting more. So we will see who arrives, who joins us for some festivities. Now, Bannochbrae being a fictitious circuit, but there are some corners I have given names to. That's purely for my own amusement. Like I say, it's not based on anything. Why is the trackside camera not working? Very odd. I am getting nothing from the trackside cameras. I ought to be getting something from the trackside cameras, but weirdly I'm not. Oh, on board is going to be then, strangely. That's odd. I usually do get some life out of the trackside cameras, but I am getting nothing, as you can quite clearly see. Oh well. Let's rock on then, so we won't get to see the liveries in all their fine glory this time. Oh no! Yeah, I thought you were going to catch that little outcropping there, Mr. Carl Benson. So Carl Benson is rank dropper. Oh, we've just lost someone already. Mark Kelly is with us. Welcome to you. There is Andrew Gillone. Ah, I do know why. I know why, I believe I know why I'm getting no life from the spectator cameras. It does need me to rejoin the lobby. So what I'm going to do is... I'm going to do exactly that. So bear with me just a second. I'm going to do that. And then scroll that on. I do know why. I think I know why I'm getting no life from the trackside cameras. So it does need me to restart the game. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Even I encounter technical gremlins from time to time. But this, if it's what I think it is, should be something I can very quickly fix. But is not something I could do whilst in the lobby. So being that it is the qualifying that is currently running, I should be able to rejoin without any particular trouble. Should being the operative word, as I haven't had to do this for Podcast 2, or at least not for a while. So let us see if I was right in that. That would also probably explain why my computer was acting against me so hard. So we'll see. Again, apologies for this, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with the action very, very shortly. As soon as I'm able to rejoin. So do talk amongst yourselves for a brief moment. We apologise for this interlude. Normal service will be resumed. Right, that one, and then that one. Put the password in. I should be able to rejoin, and I should still have director. Wait, so sources as well. Yes, indeed, and should be able to rejoin as per normal. Right, so if I get rid of that. As you can see, we are now loading in. This is one of my favourite tracks. We're in foggy conditions, but it is going to be dry for the race, we're told. It's going to be overcast but dry. Foggy conditions, it's not heavy fog. And yes, the trackside cameras work. Wonderful. So I was right. It was due to the fact that because I use VR, or I have virtual reality. Oh, Brenda Van Heeden! That's not how you take that particular corner coming under the bridge. The VR server was running, and you can't use trackside cameras if VR is, or the game thinks VR is running. That's what caused that. Right, 16 drivers now, so let's have a run through of who we've got. Rank dropper, there he is, who's, for some reason now, Carl Benson was saying that his livery wasn't sticking, so he's had some trouble with his livery. Not entirely sure why. Gary Cooper, in the red Renault, is with us. There, we did see briefly Brenda Van Heeden having some interesting movements, sliding with his tail against the wall. Mark Kelly, love it. So the fog's not too thick, so I'm able to commentate through it. If it's heavy fog, I literally am totally blind. Andrew Gillone, there he is in the Scottish flavoured BMW. Him and I have raced it. Oh, there's the jump, or the peak, or the crest, as they call that. Jason Powell is with us. Let's see if his luck has been very sporadic in this season. So let's see if he is able to get some good luck on the board. David Moll in the checkered Renault with the blue flash on the back. Colin Dunn is with us. Mr. Fishwick himself. Jellica Sterber has returned to us. I do like that livery. I do like that. The champ. Alex Jameson's going to be interesting to see how he does. This, of course, is not because this is a fictitious track. It's obviously not one of the ones that's ingrained in your muscle memory. So it's going to be interesting to see how. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how everyone does under those circumstances. Quincy Chovito, his name is appearing correctly this week. Hurrah! Glad to see. Jay Daniels is with us in his distinctive orange and blue livery, and the captain of the ship, Toby Owen. There he is. We've also had some people set some times whilst I'm talking. Stu Neal currently top of the tree with a 2:23.6. It is quite a long lap here. Hence why it's a 20 lap race, beg your pardon, which should be about 50 minutes. Oh, that was close. Yeah, and you can see where the barriers jut out from the wall there, and that's caught several people out whilst we've been looking at them. Mark Kelly, second, 2:27.04. Look at the 7,000ths of a second over just under a 2.5 minute lap. Wow, that is close. That is great stuff. Roy Grassi in third position at the moment, 2:24.2. I was hoping to do some laps myself so I could remind myself what I was capable of, but I didn't get a chance to do so. Yerka currently in fourth, 2:24.480. So it's still not a second off the top time. Carl Benson has managed to get a time on the board. Cameron Mann's lost. That's near the beginning of the lap. Yeah, that's kind of end of sector 1, heading towards the lighthouse. Oh no, it isn't. See, even I'm getting the visual references wrong. Might actually be wise to run this with the track map on, so you people can see where we're talking about, and also to help myself, it would seem. Alex Jameson currently in 6th place, 2:25.1. So he's coming up to... Now, I call this the sheep dip. There's sheep on the right-hand side, and you do dip from the position you turn into that corner. Aaron Large in the banana split. BMW takes the top spot, or briefly took the top spot with a 2:23.2 for David Mould, just to usurp him with a 2:22.6. Very nicely done in the Renault. Jason Bell, the 2:35, I think it's fair to say that's not particularly representative. He's not 13 seconds off the pace. Yet to see... Oh, was that was a time from... Oh, someone stopped there. It looked like... Oh, of course, Andrew Gillen's at the top of the tree, but only just, though. A 6,000th gap between himself and Moll. He is driving the wheels off the BMW, getting all the slidey ways in, as is his true and normal style, which we thoroughly enjoyed last time out. Who is that? Oh, Jay Daniels is back in the pits. Interesting. Oh dear, Gary Cooper's got the sheep dip wrong. And there's underway again. Brendan Van Heeden. That again looks like it's near the beginning of the lap. That looks like it's the first few tests. That's right on board with Brendan Van Heeden. Yeah, that is indeed early in the lap. So now left-hander over the crest and over the first bridge. This is the only smooth bit of the track, really. Heavy on the brakes. This is what Sheep Dip Corner looks like from the driver's perspective, and that's that deadly barrier on the left-hand side that will absolutely decimate you if you choose to run along the barrier. Now, small turn to the right and then to the left. Lighthouse, can't quite see it, but it is right in front of us. There it is. Now sweep through the left-hand turn, down a gear, and hard on the gas as we start the rise towards the farm. You can hear as the revs are hitting the rev limiter there, where the front end is just getting airborne. There's the farm on the right. Brendan quite cautious towards the wall now, down through the gears and hard into the junction. Now the right-left, the town centre chicane, there it is. And then heading towards full throttle, no lift there at all, very nicely done. Heading towards what I call cascades. As we now start to head down towards the second bridge. You can hear actually the cars going under the bridge there. Down towards the jump for Brendan. Now this can go horribly wrong if you land quite badly. He was a little cautious coming into that. And there, that's exactly what I was talking about. He didn't land square and that just chucked the car towards the wall. As Andrew Gillen has improved in his time. He's taken about a 10th out of his previous one. 22.578 his time. Brendan, very nicely done. Coming through the catch. And then heading towards the start-finish line to put a time on the board. Where will Brendan Van Heeden be? Over to the right hand side, and that's where the pit lane exit is, so he's quite wise to head over to the right, and that's a 250, so he's had trouble probably before we'd even seen it. Brendan Van Heeden struggling with this one. I know how well he can drive this circuit. He was him and I had a great race in the Clio Cup that was in between seasons 1 and 2, so I managed to win and lose against him in the same night. So you know how well he can do that. There's Andrew Gillow. streaming towards. So there was that sort of bumpy section. There's the farm on the right hand side. We will see the farm on the right very shortly. Is that Jameson in 4th? He's jumped back to the pits. And he's got time to come out. But again, such a long lap. He can't leave it too long. There he goes. Getting back underway again. Gary Cooper. He's going to the town centre. Nicely done. Now, you can cut that more than you might initially think, but it's very, very narrow. So if you're having an argument with someone, or if you're fighting over track position, one of you really needs to bow out of that pretty quickly. And it's been discussed with the drivers that anyone on the left-hand side needs to bow out of that. Nicely done. Down through Cascades and over the second bridge towards the jump. Gary Cooper. Jay Daniels yet to get a time on the board, and you can see he is invalidating previous lap times. There we go. Nice bit of air with Gary Cooper, but he landed quite square, so he was able to get the car back under control quite quickly. You do end up banzaiing towards the wall, so it is quite a scary moment when you do take off. Nicely done as he comes through the catch. And Aaron Large now at the top of the tree. The 222.3, and Gillone does also improve to a 222.383. Still very, very close at the top. So the two BMWs showing the way. And Gary Cooper across the line, and no time set. So that could have been his outlap. Gillone is back in the pit. Aaron Large has chosen to continue. Where is Jay Daniels? Very cautiously coming through the town centre chicane. But pressing on nonetheless. I wonder if that's an outlap for him. David Marl up to 3rd with a 222.61. Just 3:10 separating the top 3. And oh dear, Brendan back in the pits again. Coming straight back out though. So back on the case. But hasn't got much time to be able to do that. Again, Jay Daniels has invalidated his lap time. So he was on a time lap. British Overtow, 228.4 on the board for him. So there's still time out there to be found. But like I said earlier, this is not a familiar track for most people, being that it is specific to the Project Cars games. It's a fictitious track after all. And we see Brendan giving it plenty through the first part of the lap. He's heading towards the first bridge. Over it, there's then it's the sheep dip corner. Very easy to lock up though, because the drop from the bridge is really quite sudden. Even though you're braking before you get to the edge of the bridge, the drop is really very violent, so you can lock up quite easily into that into the sheep dip turn. Now through Lighthouse. Oh, and that's what happens when you push it a little bit too hard. Well, that potentially caused some damage to Bender, but he's continuing nonetheless. He did scrub off enough speed. It's down a gear really before you get into the Lighthouse turn. Now through Farm and Junction. Or Farm Junction, I might have called that. I can't entirely remember. I didn't keep my original map. That's Town Centre. I wouldn't be surprised if his lap was already binned with that quite big impact. Roy Grassie's just jumped up to 8th place. Just saw on the board there he's been chased by someone. But Toby Owen, it is 8th and 9th. Close together on track and in qualifying times. 24.280 for Toby Owen and 23.938 for Roy Grassie. Oh no, Gary Cooper has had trouble at the Town Centre chicane. Easily done. There's Jay Daniels. They only 2 cars, being Cooper and Daniels, yet to get a time on the board. 4 minutes to go, so they haven't got long. And Carl Benson has jumped back to the pits. Currently 7th with a 23.6. Oh, how close to the barrier was Jay Daniels. Still pressing on though. He doesn't look like he's letting off at all. Oh, wow. Well taken. I've lost many a hot lap into that. That's why I call it the catch, because it has caught me many, many times, that particular fence. And that gate is indented into the wall, and it's very easy to just plough into it. Gary Cooper back into the pit, and no time yet for Jay Daniels. He is continuing on his merry way. Tokyo is still following Roy Grassi. He is getting in some close racing practice. Why not? I remember Toby saying this was one of his favourite tracks as well. He was with us in the Clio Cup. He did not do... he got rather mullered quite a few times. As did I in one of the races. In the random grid race, I got absolutely decimated in an incident at the beginning part of the lap, which is very easy to do because the track gets very narrow in certain places. Doesn't look like Carl is coming back out on track. Good to see Carl back with us. We saw him back for one race last time out. Oh, wow. Toby actually bounced as he hit the ground there. Carl missed the first couple of rounds, was with us for a single race last week and opted to just get some practice in for this week rather than continue last time out. So good to see him back, and respectable time indeed, 2:23.8. Do these two improve? So Roy Grassi and Toby Owen as they come over the line. I did see Toby at the wall. Roy Grassi improved in time but not position. Toby, however, did not. So 2:23.899 for Roy Grassi. He remains in 8th position. Oh, that's a great... It's not quick, but it's a very flashy way of taking the sheep dip there. And he crossed over the grass, so he's backed out of that, is Aaron Large. He will not improve. What about Mr. Gillow? Oh, wow, he looked a bit quickly coming over the bridge after Cascades. Now through the catch, using every available inch of road. Screaming the 55 BMW towards the line. Someone's just come out of the pits. They're not going to have time to start another lap, unfortunately. Does Gillone improve? No. Well, we've ridden on board with Brendan. That's... Oh, wow! So I was hopefully going to ride on board with Andrew Gillone. He's not going to thank me for commentator cussing him again. Now, he took that first apex, it's that tiny bit too tight, and he bounced off of it, which just catapulted him to the outside. But it really is the best way of getting the best time, is to cut that first corner as close as you can. Oh, Jameson is all over the place after the jump. Well, after the bridge, after the jump, I should say. 2:23.561, currently sits him in 4th position. He will have time for another lap after this. Does he improve? He improves in time but not position. A 2:22.9 is Jameson's time, but he's pressing on nonetheless. Let's ride the rest of the lap on board with Alex Jameson. To go on, literally on board as we head towards. So we're still in sector 1 here. As he cuts over the dirt there and heads towards the first bridge. Stay close to the wall, but not too close. You can bounce off of it. Here we are coming up to sheep dip now. On the brakes, steady not to lock up, then chuck the nose in and fire on the gas pedal. Now working the way towards the lighthouse turn. Just about see it coming through the fog. You can see the ship on the right, the lighthouse directly in front. Downward, we want down 1 gear, and there it is. Oh, yeah, nicely done. Most people back in the pits now. Only Gary Cooper without a time, so Jay Daniels did get a time on the board. It's 11th place with a 2:25.0. Still out there though, checker flag is out. As David Moll has brought his car back in. Oh, down at farm, and that's Alex Jameson on the ragged edge. Trying to get every bit of time he can. Now he's within a second of the top positions. So he did improve, as we saw, but not in position though. Into the left-hander heading towards Cascades. Checker flag is definitely out now. Oh, that's gone a little bit squiggly. That was a bit messy, but he managed to keep it going. Over the bridge, heading towards the jump. Keeps it nice and straight. He wants to take a bit of a left turn before he takes off, just to try and avoid the wall. He was so close to the barrier, and he really threw That's through the nose of the car in pretty hard. Now to the catch, and there's the gate on the left. That's why it's called the catch. You take that too wide and you slam headlong into that fence. Highland Nürburgring, says Andrew Gillow. Muddling up your names again. Over the line, does Alex Jameson improve? No, that was not an improvement. That was absolutely everything he possibly could get out of the car. And it was no improvement for Alex Jameson. So it's Aaron Large and Andrew Gillone on the front row. Toby Owen's done. Jurka Sturber's done. Colin Dunn is not. He's still going. Where is he? He's coming into the catch, I think. Yep. Hard towards the line now. Does he improve? 2:25, 5:09. Sees him in 12th place. Being this is a longer race, the starting positions have less importance. But you still don't want to be caught up in early shenanigans. I don't think he improved on that run. So Aaron Hodge and Andrew Gillone take on the front row. David Moll and Jameson, row 2. Mark Kelly and Stu Neal, row 3. Carl Benson and Roy Grassi take on row 4. Toby Owen and Jurka Sturber in row 5. Jay Daniels and Colin Dunn in row 6. Quinton Chauvetot, Jason Powell, row 7. And Gary Cooper and Brendan Van Heeden at the tail of the field. Very surprising for Brendan. He just did not get that lap together whatsoever. And the drivers will be relieved that it is indeed a dry race. It is a mandatory pit stop in this race as well. They must see the pit lane at least once. I suspect some people may see the pit lane more than once just because of the nature of the track. I'll definitely have my fluids nearby, and I suspect I am going to need them, as I have no doubt that I am going to be in for a lot of shouting in this race. Very early on, I imagine, but the BMWs, look at that. I don't expect to see Brendan that far down. He's Brendan Van Heeden's one of these drivers. It's very much all or nothing. He's either absolutely on it, or it just all falls apart for him. Aaron Large, I think that's his first pole that we've seen in the VTCC. Absolutely great effort. Well done in the banana split BMW. Now, whilst, of course, he starts on pole, he starts on the inside line. So he's going to have a hell of a job out-dragging Andrew Gillone in those amazing starts of his, although one of his starts did fail him last time out. So he's not going to want that. And they don't have any other races tonight to sort of make up for a bad one. It literally is all or nothing. It's the only race of the night for our two lobbies. Our AMs, as mentioned, being covered by Husky, who's joined us as a commentator, so that both our pros and AMs get equal coverage. We're also looking to form a pro-am lobby, because we still have drivers wanting to join the series, and we do have some drivers that are a little bit falling in between the two categories of pro and am. So we're hopefully looking to set up a pro-am lobby in the coming weeks. So again, keep an eye on the social media for more details about that. As for now, it is time to get the race underway. 20 laps here at Bannochbrae, and the BMWs are going to lead us away. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Oh, it's a terrible start for Aaron Large, but it's a jump start for Andrew Gillone. Well, a flat 20-second penalty for Gillone. As mentioned last week, it's a really fine line between a cracking start and a jump start. Oh dear. And Gillone even lagging there. But Gillone has got it all to do now. But Aaron Large holds on to that second position. David Moll third. Alex Jameson in fourth. Mark Kelly is in fifth position. Oh dear, Jameson's squiggly as he's coming through that first line. Let's just jump to Gary Cooper. It looks like everybody has survived the first few turns as Gary Cooper nudges the back of Jay Daniels. Oh, that's showing his Quintus Chauvetot. What's happened there? Because Gary Cooper is shown in the middle of the pack. Something very strange has happened. There's Gary Cooper who bounced off the back of Jay Daniels. He should be listed somewhere in 13th. But weirdly, he's listed in 16th. Don't know why. And trouble up front as Gillone is really slow heading towards Lighthouse. Aaron Large has taken the lead and he's got David Moll all over the back of him on board with Jameson. They're side by side now as they go through the ascent and then over the crest heading towards Farm. Gillone retakes the lead and it looks like David Moll wants to follow suit. Oh, sort that out before you get to the left-hander, which they manage. They do, but Aaron Large bounces off the wall. That's going to cost him second position to David Mole. Right behind Jameson, Stu Neal is looking to do battle with the champion as they work their way through the town centre chicane for the first time in anger. But it looks like no one is attempting to do a side-by-side there, which is good to see. Quintin Chauvetot is showing in 15th, but he has had a terrible start. I don't know what is going on with Gary Cooper. He is in the mixture as he bounces off the wall. Oh dear, that looks like that's Jirka Sturber. He's gone horribly wrong for heading towards Cascades. It does look like everyone is still running. But wow, whoa, how much air did Andrew Gellone get when he came over the jump? But of course, he's got that 20-second penalty to undo. He's got the time to do it. He's certainly got the talent to do it. Let's see if he's able to continue. David Molly in second with a track limit penalty himself. We'll have a look at the one that is on board with Roy Grassi. The top 8 certainly are in really short order. Look at this. We actually go back to 11th. Jay Daniels. All of them are line astern essentially. What is the penalty? So several penalties. David Moll with the 3 second. Toby Owen with the 2. There are a few places you can get those penalties, just going over the grass. And Mark Kelly is first into the pits, and closely followed by Brendan Van Heeden. Back and towards the sharper end. Oh, and that's Carl Benson that's bounced off the rocks there. Stu Neal gains that 5th place, going through on the inside, now on the back of David Moll, who's fallen to 4th. Jameson up to 3rd. Aaron Large in 2nd. Dartmouth having a great old scrap. You can just see at the top is Andy Gellone. So he's doing his best to get the gap he needs. He's got the time to do it. He doesn't need to push unnecessarily hard, but it's going to be a difficult task, especially if Jameson manages to get past Aaron Large. Look at that, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in that one shot. They've got to be very careful here. They're trying to be so long. Oh, Jameson on the inside of Aaron Large for 2nd place. Jameson had a great run coming through Lighthouse. Still side by side with the Banana Split BMW. Here comes David Mole to try and join the party. Please don't go 3 wide into that right-hander. And they don't. Oh, but Large again bounces off the wall. David Mole inadvertently sends it back into the wall. Let's get on board with Carl Benson now as he's got an opportunity to overtake the BMW. And there, right ahead of them is Stu Neal, who's gone up into 4th place. With the troubles that Aaron Large has been having, it seems that one corner is a bit of an Achilles heel. There is Roy Grassi and Jason Powell in this mixture, so 2nd through to 8th are in a hell of a fight. And Andy Gellone is dancing off into the sunset, but on this occasion he needs to. Colin Dunn on the back of Quintin Chauvetot. Where is Gary Cooper? He is actually on his own. I can't tell. I know where he is, but I don't know where he is in relation to anybody else. No, he's in 15th ahead of Brendan Van Heeden, who's been in the pits. So it's not been a good day for Gary Cooper. Oh no, Jason Powell, that's gone horribly wrong. Oh, that's on the exit of the 2nd bridge. On the bumper cam of Roy Grassi then, as he has got a great ringside seat for, looks like Jameson's broken free. Oh no, Roy Grassi went too high into the pit lane and slammed into the divider. That's not going to help. Some people could be opting to take their mandatory pit stop very early, which is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. Unfortunately, I haven't been noting who's been in the pits. That was something I was going to do, and I completely forgot. Roy Grassi is in. And the pack behind have split up now. And Alex Jameson has broken free of the warring tribe behind him. As you can see, a couple of seconds between himself. Stu Neal now up into 3rd place. Great first few laps for Stu Neal. David Moll in 4th position. Wow, Jay Daniels all the way up in 5th. He had a horrendous start. Oh, horrendous qualifying, I should say. Has worked his way up to 5th place. Now, that is partly helped by the pit stops. Yes, some people have opted to take an early pit stop. There's no requirement to take fuel. There's no requirement to take tyres either. It's just a requirement for them to go through the pit lane. Unless it's a drive-through, they actually have to stop at their pit garage. They can't just drive straight through the pits. So now the field beginning to spread out a bit. There's Toby Owen now. There's Aaron Large falling to 9th position. There's Jirka Sturber that we saw having some early difficulty. Wow, Toby Owen really chucking the nose of the Renault into the Lighthouse turn. field beginning to spread out now. But it's going to be interesting to see the Jameson-Gillone battle. Especially with the jump start penalty that Gillone's going to be carrying. I don't know why that isn't given us a drive through. Recently I've only ever seen the 20-second ones applied. Here comes the jump. This will be he just keeps his foot absolutely planted as he is pushing as hard as he possibly can to keep the momentum going in the 55 car. Through the catch, does he choose to come in this time? Let's have a look. So Moll and Neil still having an argument for third position. No sign of a pit stop for the race leader. Oh, look at these two. That is Stu Neal and David Moll in their argument for third position. A 2:22.7 for Andy Gillone, a 2:23 flat for Alex Jameson. Jameson knows he doesn't have to push that hard, but you can't just let the lap count run out. He's got to keep that gap below that mighty 20 seconds. And Gary Cooper is out. Oh dear, that's not a pit stop, he's retired. Aaron Large is coming through the pits though. Into the crew for the banana split car, and Colin Dunn is also coming in for his mandatory pit stop. That's a great view, cameraman, thanks for that. There's Carl Benson. Oh, Jason Powell bouncing off the wall again. Coming through the bridge, now into Sheep Dip. Oh, that's deep for Benson. And he managed to keep that one off the wall. As soon as you hit that wall, you're almost inevitably going to hit the barrier that will spit you out. So it is a very dangerous place to go wide, this Sheep Dip. The circuit is quite unforgiving in a number of places, why I called it a car breaker. So Jason Bell kicks up a bit of dust on the inside of the lighthouse turn, and Carl Benson kicks up some on the outside, or on the exit of it, certainly. Jurka Sterber in 9th position, behind Toby Owen now. And Mark Kelly on the back of Quinton Chauvetot for 10th place. That battle continuing between the two Renaults. So another quick penalty count. So 3 for Stu Neal, 4 for David Moll, 5 now for Toby Owen, and 3 for Jurka Sterber, plus the 20 for Andy Gillone. Oh, Carl Benson. Much more at ease than we saw him last week, so good to see him coming back to form. But that run down to Cascades didn't go well for him. Look at the battle behind though, Jurka Sterber and Toby Owen. That's what it's like on the roof cam of Jurka Sterber. Over the bridge, now heading towards the jump. Bounce. You see Jurka really threw the nose over to the left. He almost caught the wall on the inside line. They did scrape the wall on the inside of the bridge there, but had enough space to prevent him just catapulting into the opposite walls. He's now trying an inside manoeuvre through the catch on Toby Owen. He's not going to be able to do it this time around. But that's a great scrap between these two. Toby feeling the need to stay on that defensive line heading into turn 1. Oh yeah, Toby went too hot into that. Of course, his line was compromised because he's trying to keep Jurka behind him, and he has bounced off of that wall and through into 8th position goes Jurka Sterber. What about Carl Benson? Still hanging on to the back of Jason Powell. That's the battle for 6th position. Well, Aaron Large and Brendan Van Heeden getting close together. No, that's Brendan in the pits. I don't think that's the first time that the 25 car's been in. No, indeed it isn't the first time he's been in. There's Carl Benson on the back of Jason Powell as they work their way towards the lighthouse. No immediate advancement there. Keeping an eye on the times at the front, and we have lost Brendan Van Heeden from the race. Brendan Van Heeden has retired his cars. 2 down now as Carl Benson really pushing on Jason Powell to try and muscle his way through for 6th position. There's Jay Daniels, not far up the road either. Jay Daniels was quicker than these two last time around, but it does look like that gap has really gotten small between Powell and Daniels. All the pressure in the world on Jay Daniels. Oh no, Jason Powell's shoulder rather. With Carl Benson all over his tail. What's he going to do? Coming into Cascades once again. Bit of a lock up. Nothing too bad. A narrow line going through that inside line. Here comes Benson now. Is he going to try and get the move done before they get to the jump? He's not alongside, and he wisely backs out of that one. He hadn't got the move complete, and sensibly he backs out of that. That's the view from the bonnet cam of Benson. Oh, Jason Powell! That's why I call it the catch. He just understeered into that gate, and bang! He's just hit that outside post, and that put him unfortunately back into the path of Carl Benson. But Jason Powell certainly would have come off much, much worse as a result of that impact. There in the background is Jurka Sturber and Toby Owen with their fight for 8th position still raging on. And Gillone's lost a bit of his lead. Now down to 4.2 seconds between himself and Jameson. That's nearly a second to Jameson's favour last time around. That penalty is going to drop Gillone. If the race finished now, would drop him to around about 5th place. It's Stu Neal and David Moll carrying penalties of their own, so that would alter that a little bit as well. There's still a long, long way to go. We're only just over a quarter of the way through the race as it is. Chauvetot and Roy Grassi are in an argument now for 11th position. That's heading towards the bridge. And into Sheep Dip. You can hear how the engine revs just drop as they come over that, the edge of the bridge. That's just where the front wheels are locking up because you're heavy on the brakes, and of course you then got very, very light because you're essentially airborne. So the engine revs then just drop, and it's how you control that when you then return to terra firma. Still continuing their charge. And now you can see the proxy markers, and there we go. Jurka Sturber has caught the back of Jason Powell after his run-in with Carl Benson. Now Jurka Sturber has found a new victim. Coming to Cascades now. There is Carl Benson at the bottom of the shot. He's got himself a good 5 seconds over Powell now. I wouldn't be surprised if Powell's carrying a lot of damage as a result of an impact. And that's going to allow Toby Owen to start closing in on them the more these two fight. Oh, wow. I wondered if Toby Owen had got the jump wrong there, but no, he's still continuing quite nicely. Oh, into the catch, and again Powell's gone deep. And through goes Sturber, and through goes Toby Owen. That's a very wounded car for Jason Powell. Is he going to bring that one in? Yes, he does. I'm not surprised. Into the pits for Jason Powell. It's a very weird pit lane entry into the circuit. And here comes Gillone. He's lost another 10th to the ever-charging Jameson. That's plenty of time yet. And that's Toby Owens caught the back of Jurka Sturber again. That's a 5-4-7 position. Now, I'm not surprised that the field is quite well spread out now. This is the nature of this track. It's a long one. And as I mentioned, it's not one of the ones that you just instinctively know. It's no. Oh, Toby was a bit deep coming into Sheep Dip, but managed just about to slow that one down. And you saw he locked up just before he got to that crest. A bit hot going into that. But continues nonetheless. I think Mr. Gillow may well... Oh! Now that time suddenly jumped then. Now it could be the timing goes a little bit wonky through that town centre chicane, but suddenly that time changed, and I can't see any obvious damage on Jameson's car, so I don't think he's hit anything. On P-Cars 1 he used to go absolutely mad here. The time trial times go absolutely nuts at this stage. So we'll see what the lap times are when they cross the line. Toby Owens closing in on Jurgen Sterber still, and Aaron Large and Quinton Chauvetot are now having an argument for 11th position. Aaron was closing in on Quinton earlier. They seem to have lost a bit of time. It's continuing nonetheless though. He's kept it out of the wall at Farm. They go through the junction and head towards. And Gillone is coming in now. An interesting time to do it, but he's opted to take his pit stop now. Jameson has continued. As a reminder, it's a mandatory pit stop. And that's how quick a mandatory pit stop is when you haven't got any damage to worry about. Out in 4th position then for Andrew Gillone. He's back up to speed as quickly as he can. Now it's Jameson, the new leader. Minding his own business, really. Continues to enjoy a 10-second lead over Stu Neal, who's lost a tiny bit of time to David Moore in 3rd position, but nothing too bad. Having very similar times, 24.3 for David Moore, 24.4 for Neal. Of course, we've just seen Andy Gillone go through the pits. He is 4.4 seconds or so off the back of David Moore. Then next down the road is Jay Daniels with Carl Benton, not far behind indeed. Carl gained 8/10 on Jay Daniels. So someone who rejoined us last week and felt he needed more practice, he's really having a stormer. But not bad lap times at all. And Jurgen Sterber's got company again in the form of Toby Owen. Now these two have been fairly close all race long. I think Jurgen's had a bad run through Sheep Dip because Toby is really closing in on him with every few metres gained. Wow, yeah, that gap between the two really has shortened quite dramatically. And there is Carl Benson, or Rank Dropper as he's otherwise known, on the case of Jay Daniels, who's had a huge incident down at Farm. Oh, nearly collected. Nearly collected Carl Benson as well. Now, what would have happened if he didn't scrub off enough speed of the last left-hander that has the rock face next to it? This could be a little bit awkward for Jurgen Sterber. He would have had to have gone out of that as he was gaining very, very quickly on Jay Daniels coming into the town centre chicane. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Jay Daniels is carrying damage as a result of that impact. Just kicks up a little bit of dust and now coming into Cascades. He's gone too deep. That's going to allow Jurgen Sterber to try and get alongside it, but no, he's compromised again. Here comes Toby Owen as they go over the bridge heading towards the jump. Oh, this could get very, very ugly. Let's see what Jurgen Sterber does here. Quite wisely, he backs out of that, as does Toby Owen. He was getting too fast. Jay Daniels is carrying some serious damage, I would imagine. Oh, he's going to do a wall again, which he does, but doesn't catapult in the middle of the track. Now into the catch. Toby Owen does it pretty well. Jurgen Sterber has a great run through there. Actually, Jay Daniels does as well. But I would imagine Jay is going to lose a few positions here. He goes for the racing line. Interesting. He's trying to keep Jurgen behind him, but Jurgen's got the slipstream and easily takes that position. He's going to get it done before turn 1. Bit of a compromised entrance into turn 1 for Jurgen Sterber. Nicely driven by the pair of them. Here comes Toby Owen to try and get involved in the party as well. Oh, wrong car to be on chase cam with. That's the one I was aiming for. Nicely driven by the three of them. We've got a real fight here now. Nicely done. Gently does it. He works our way through the turns. Toby Owen trying to get past Jay Daniels. He doesn't want to lose that much time on Jurgen Sterber, who's having a much stronger run here than we saw last week at Hockenheim. And through into 7th position. Straightforward move for Toby Owen. It's not quite done yet, but Jay Daniels has got no defence against that. As Toby Owen powers past him. Jay Daniels hanging on to the back of Toby Owen. Oh, I thought there was impact there, but no, I think that was just where he slightly caught some. It did show it. I think Quinton Chauvetot has got some stuff on the penalty board. Have a quick look at what we're looking at. 3 for Stu Neal, 4 for David Moore, 20 for Andy Gillone, 3 for Sterber, 8 now for Toby Owen, and 3 for Chauvetot. Oh, bouncing off the wall, and again, that's exactly what Jay Daniels did last time around. The exact same mistake. This time he didn't bounce off the wall. Oh, they opted to run damage off. Oh, thank you, Brenda. That does explain why we haven't seen any dead windscreens. And the like. So that is just wounded pride more than anything else. So down through Cascades once again. Jay Daniels losing the time to Toby Owen. He's continuing on nonetheless. Jameson still yet to come in for his pit stop, but still plenty of time to do it. We're just hit the halfway stage now. 13 seconds to the good from Stu Neal. 2 seconds to David Mole and another 2 seconds to Andy Gillone. Lead BMW. Aaron Arda, pole sitter, right the way down there in 11th position. It's not been a great run for him. Jay Daniels is just losing the back of Toby Owen now. You can see from the lap times 2:26 for Jochen Sterber, 2:28 for Toby Owen, and 2:29 for Jay Daniels. And race leader with a 2:23.7. He himself has done better than that in this race. 25.1 for Stu Neal, so he's lost a fair bit of time to Alex Jameson. I think he's just more minding his own business there. Not entirely convinced he's chasing for the lead at the moment. Gillone, though, he is closing in on David Mole. He closed in about 4/10 last time around, but 24.2. Also remember that he was coming up to speed after his pit stop, so that's not entirely indicative of a true lap. Mandy Gillone is going to chuck this one in, slide in nicely through farm into junction. A bit of lag going on there for Andy Gillone, unfortunately. It's quite unlike him, or it certainly looks it from my perspective. And David Mole. Oh no, Stu Neal's had trouble at the Town Centre chicane. Woohoo! Andy Gillone round the outside of the left-hander heading towards Cascades. That's a brave, brave move indeed. Andy Gillone needed all the slidey ways to get that one done. That's a big mistake there from Stu Neal. Drops him now to 4th place. Oh, and that's David Mole. Oh no, that's put Andy Gillone off. David Mole was very, very cautious coming through the jump, and unfortunately that put Andy Gillone off his stride. Here comes Carl Benson to try and capitalise on that. That's a shame for Andy Gillone. Oh, he's going to bounce off the wall as well. Just needs to get back into a rhythm, which is easy for me to say. I know what it's like when you're caught up in an instant like that. You do lose your head a bit. David Mole, he's in the pits along with Stu Neal. So, second and third come in to serve their pit stops. Andy Gillone then with a big load of empty track ahead of him. If you turn the map on, you can see that's what 25 seconds looks like. In the top right of the map, you can see where Gillone is being chased hard by Carl Benson, and then the next white dot down the road, just coming out of Sector 1, is Alex Jameson. As the battle between Toby Owen and Jay Daniels now is now for 4th place. Oh, did Carl just give himself a penalty there? Carl Benson may have just given himself a penalty there. Or they're just shuffling around. So, 4th place, Jay Daniels fending off Toby Owen for 4th position. Mark Kelly's not far behind. So a potential battle forming here for 4th place. Oh, look how close Toby Owen is coming through the cheap tip turn. As Jochen Sterber has been through the pits and now back on his way. That's Stu Neal on the back of Roy Grassi for 8th position now. And there behind Mark Kelly is David Mole after his pit stop, was put him in 7th place. Bouncing around on board with Mark Kelly. You can see right ahead of us the battle between Toby Owen and Jay Daniels. That's what it looks like for Mark Kelly, for Toby Owen, beg your pardon. Towards the junction, Jay Daniels just holding his line. Toby gets a better run through it, but can't use that extra momentum. He's going to have to back off a little bit as they go through the town centre chicane, now heading towards Cascades. Daniels holding his line. Toby Owen tries to take him. He's backed off, and that's cost him a bit of time. Now into Cascades. It's really awkward. It feels very awkward getting your car to turn in because the undulation of the track and equally where the bumps are. And Toby Owen actually lets Mark Kelly through, it looks like that. Well, they are teammates. They're running the same livery. So Mark Kelly on a charge. Now up into 5th place. Toby Owen does not want to hold him up. He's just let him through. About 2 seconds between himself and Jay Daniels. Just going to do the shot there. There equally is David Moll, who post pit stop wants to get back up towards the podium positions. We'll see how well that goes for him. Still no sign of the pit lane for Alex Jameson, unless he's already served it and I've completely missed it. As I say, I didn't make a note of who's pitted and when. Let's not look away from this fight for too long. Toby Owen, Mark Kelly and Jay Daniels. Now it's unlikely that Toby Owen and Mark Kelly are going to fight too much. It's a very strong position for those two. So Stu Neal and Roy Grassi are beginning to get closer to each other again. The cameraman would kindly look at the right direction. Here's Stu Neal coming over the bridge, heading towards Sheep Dip, and that's Roy Grassi ahead. Nicely done. And Moll, as predicted, is now on the back of Toby Owen, who has lost the back, well and truly, of Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly on the back of Jay Daniels now, so the battle for 4th is very, very hot. Look at that! So Mark Kelly's really dropped Toby. I'm assuming Toby must have made a mistake there because he just seems to have dropped him really quick. Very steady. Going through farm now to junction for Mark Kelly. Everyone is still minding their own business. And oh, Toby Owen, he's not got that right at all. And through to 6th goes David Moll. No, it could have been intentional. Didn't quite see it on the camera angle. But I suspect he's made a mistake heading towards coming through junction, heading towards the town centre chicane. Through Cascades. There at the top of the shot is the next battle down the road of Roy Grassi and Stu Neal. Stu not letting go of the back of the red Cooper Motorsports coloured car. Still no sign of the pit lane for our race leader. I hope he realises there is a mandatory pit stop. We have seen that happen before. Generally, it's a 2-lap penalty in some circles if you don't serve a mandatory pit stop. Oh, Jay Daniels taking the defensive line. Mark Kelly thinking about outside manoeuvre coming through turn 1. That's only really going to land you into the wall, which it does. Oh, he just, and only just, managed to keep that one out of the wall as Toby Owen has brought his car into the pits. There's damage. Oh, there's no damage. So no damage to deal with there. Maybe he's having a tyre change. Fourth, Jay Daniels. 5th, Mark Kelly. He was 6/10 quicker last time around. Just not able to use a side-by-side for Stu Neal and Roy Grassi on the left-hander coming towards Bridge. Still side-by-side coming towards Sheep Dip. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? Nicely driven from both of them there. Keep it out of the wall. And they do. Stu Neal up into 7th place now. That was very well driven. Toby Owen's come out of the pits and right behind Jakob Sterber again. And they go resuming their battle from previous. Now battle for 12th position. There's the black livery of Jakob Sterber just coming out of the shot. Oh, Mark Kelly had to get out of that. There's David Moll closing in hard on this pair. Stu Neal, Roy Grassi, they've swapped round again. You didn't see the move, but they have definitely swapped back to where they were. To the sound centre. Anyway, using the additional pace there. Cascades, what can happen here now? You can hope for a good exit through the right-hander there. And both of them getting a decent run. It's not going to aid Stu Neal. This is what the jump looks like from on board. Boing. Oh, it's you wince because of how close you get to that outside retaining wall, that outside barrier. Jay Daniels bouncing off the rev limiter there. Jay Daniels, what's his last lap time? Let's have a look. 2:26.8, 2:27.3 for Mark Kelly, a 2:25.4 for David Moll. We could yet see the German get back into 4th position before this race is done. 13 laps done out of the 20. Oh, that's very close to the outside wall, but nicely driven. I love this track. This is why the way the track flows. I love it. I'm very envious I'm not down their tracks over them. Brakes, turn in right for Sheep Dip. David Moll now well into this fight for 4th place. Stu Neal and Roy Grassi continuing their fight. Stu Neal trying to cut back underneath Roy Grassi, but can't quite get it done. So head towards Lighthouse. Now looking at the top 3. Oh, a bit of grass mowing going on there by Grassi and by Neal. Oh, there's a penalty further down. I think it was Jurgen Sturber is now on the penalty. Oh, a 10 for Toby Owen. That's speeding in the pit lane. 10-second penalty there. Ooh, dear, oh dear. It's going to be hard to get rid of. Oh no, Stu Neal! That's gone horribly wrong down towards Junction. Oh, you lucky boy! That was very skillfully driven, so he didn't pile into the wall, but wow, that was close. Great 3-way scrap though for 4th place. Jay Daniels leads Mark Kelly, leads David Moll into Cascades. It's the exit that's all important from that chicane. Everyone knows he can't realistically use any additional momentum at this point. Over the jump. Ooh, if you catch it wrong, you're kind of bouncing off of the next crest there is along that road. Here comes Molyneux right under the rear wing of Mark Kelly. This is a great opportunity to get a decent run through Cash, which he does. Jay Daniels doesn't. And here comes Kelly and David Moll to demote into position. Ooh, holy moly, that was close. Jay Daniels coming into the business. Jay Daniels did nothing wrong there, but that very nearly caught David Moll out. It's a good thing he was alert and jinked out of the way from Jay Daniels' car, but wow, that was close. But Jay Daniels didn't do anything wrong. There's no other way of entering the pit lane. He's not going to dive over across the road. And of course, he braked at the right time so he could safely enter the pits. So, but there was no incident there anyway. So moot point. David Moll now chasing hard Mark Kelly for that 4th place. Where did Mr. Daniels reappear? Well, there's Quinty Chauvetot coming in. And out goes Jay Daniels. Aaron Large now back up into 8th position. The cameraman lost again. David Moll still in the back of Mark Kelly. That battle for 4th has not relented at all. Jay Daniels reappears in 11th position. What's Moll going to do here? You see how the car bounces around with these bumps coming up and over the rise. Left-hander at Farm. Now Junction. Now that curb on the outside can, particularly with a rear-wheel drive car, really unsettle the car and spit you up quite nastily. So it is wisely avoid it. And Jameson is in. Jameson has come into the pits. I don't know it's going to make any fundamental difference to the finishing order if they finish the way they have been looking for a while. Here comes Sturber on the back of Jason Powell. But Gillone is going to retake the lead of the race. And there goes Jameson. But alas, Andy Gillone's not going to have that 20-second lead he needs to retain the lead. Oh, is Carl Benson going to get Alex Jameson? He does! Sweeps around the outside of turn 1! Oh, and bounces off the barrier at turn 1 as well. Now, that's interesting. Now, Carl does have a penalty, I think. He doesn't need to have a 3-second penalty. So Gillone needs 17 seconds over the rank dropper himself, as he also bounces off of another barrier. Ah, dear, he's scraping against the wall. There goes Jameson. Never mind. So back to a 20-second lead that Jameson needs. That Gillone needs, rather, over Jameson if he wants to retain the lead. I think realistically it's going to be the other end of the podium for Andy Gillone, but that's racing. I did say it looked an absolutely lightning start. Oh, it's Jakob Sturber and Jason Powell coming towards the start-finish line. Jakob going towards the outside line. Jason trying to defend the inside line. But they will probably bounce off the rev limiter before they get to turn 1. So Jason is going to retain that position. But Jakob is really putting the pressure on. We see a bit of dust being kicked up there from Jason Powell. Equally, David Moll is continuing his efforts to get 4th position. Out of Mark Kelly, who's having a great run here. Oh, Sturber, so close, so close. Jason Powell doing a brilliant job of keeping Jakob Sturber at bay. Barrier there on the left hand side is very, very nasty. On they go. Gap remaining at about under half a second between the two. Left-hander at Lighthouse. Oh, Sturber just grazed the wall. It looks worse. I think he would have lost very, very little from that. It looks worse from the outside camera than it would feel from the inside. He lost very, very little, if anything, from that tiny little scrape. Oh, however, Powell is going to lose a lot more. He's got that all wrong, and very well done to keep that out of the wall. Well recovered from Jason Powell. That's, yeah, just a touch of grass on the outside coming towards farm, and that unsettled car just about recovered it before we got to the junction. Chauvetot and Toby Owen. Oh, Quinton Chauvetot trying an inside line coming towards farm. Toby Owen's having none of that. This is for wooden spoon avoidance. Once again, Bannochbrae not being kind to the captain. Oh, and Kelly still fighting, just 2/10 if that, separating them. They've started another lap, 4 to go here at Bannochbrae. The lead for Gillone, 8.7 seconds at the moment. Kelly has lost that 4th position to David Moll, but I'm going to take the penalties into consideration. David Moll on 6 seconds worth of penalties at the moment. Mark Kelly just needs to stay where he is. He'll re-inherit that 4th position back again. It's all gone wrong for Jakob Sturber for some reason. Oh no, it hasn't. He's, beg your pardon, it went wrong for Jason Powell, didn't it? As he's now 2.5 seconds behind Jakob Sturber. I must say he's showing much improved form this week. It's good to see. The Czech Republic rallycross driver. I believe rallycross is his thing. Well, Mark Kelly and David Moll still duking it out for 4th place. But at the moment is advantage Moll. Oh, Jameson's made a mistake somewhere as Jameson's really closing in on him. You got now less than 4 seconds. Jameson wants to do it on the road. Not let the penalties sort that one out. Should still. Oh, I just wince every time they go over that. I was going to say that Alex Jameson should still go on. Oh wow, he's suddenly lost a load of time. I think that's just the timing going a bit mad, although we did see him scraping the wall a little bit on the outside of turn 1. Kelly still pressuring Mole, staying in the slipstream and in the tyre tracks of the checkered white and blue car ahead of him. Through turn 1. Oh, bit of lawn mowing from David Mole, nothing too bad. Through the rocky part of the first sector. Holding station last laps, 4 tenths to what? A big one. I'm looking at the wrong pair of laps. Oh wow! So David Mole was nearly a second quicker than Mark Kelly last time around. It's going to be hard work for Mark Kelly to maintain the pace, but he's just maintaining the pace he needs. He just needs to fall less than 6 seconds behind. Oh, that looked a little bit squiggly from Gillone there as he was coming through farm. There, he just saw at the top of the shot Alex Jameson. Can hear him. Couldn't quite see him though. That's the view from Alex Jameson's car. You just see the Scottish branded BMW fly through the left-hander onto the bridge and head towards Cascades. 3.6 the gap between the two. Wow, 2:29 from Gillone last time around, so he did lose a lot of time. 2:23.7 from Jameson. Bear in mind that gap was about 8 odd seconds when post pit stop, so that's all unravelled. Unfortunately for Andy Gillone, he's made a mistake somewhere. Kelly doing a pretty good job of hanging on to the back of the impressive David Mole. We'll be heading into our penultimate lap pretty shortly. Well, now we're into the penultimate lap of this race. Andy Gillone leads Alex Jameson by about 4 seconds. Oh, and again, turn 1 not gone well for the BMW. It's another 1.3 seconds lost to Jameson. Jameson doesn't need to make the pass. Doesn't need to be anywhere near Gillone, indeed. Gillone's still on course for a podium, though. Let's have a look at the fastest laps. Fastest lap for Gillone, 2:22.2, 2:22.7 for Jameson. No one else in the 22s with the look of it. So that's a consolation prize for Andy Gillone, taking the fastest lap. He hasn't incurred any further penalties since the jump start. He could choose to appeal it. Generally, the jump start is a jump start. Through Lighthouse he comes. Jameson doing just what he needs to do and no more to maintain the pace he needs. He's got nearly 10 seconds, or well, near enough 10 seconds over Carl Benson. Looks like the Mole-Kelly battle has resolved itself now. There it is. David Mole now 2 seconds ahead of Mark Kelly. So mistakes aside, he will cross the line ahead of Mark Kelly, but with the penalties, he's got 6 seconds on him. Mark Kelly now has 2 seconds, so the advantage is now down to 4. Mark Kelly can't afford to do that too many times. Most people having penalties on the board, actually, only a few people don't. Jameson, Grassi, Daniels, and Dunn are the only drivers that do not have a penalty on the board. Someone's got 16 seconds worth of penalties. Just saw Toby Owen. Goodness me. Gillone keeping that one under control as he came back to terra firma. Jameson chasing hard. Oh, the tail getting very lively on the BMW again. Oh no, he's at the wall of the catch. I think Gillone's going to lose the position there. Here comes Jameson. Final lap then for Bannochbrae. Gillone leads Jameson. Oh, that's a bit deep into turn one. Here comes Alex Jameson. Is he going to try and get the move done before they get into the twisties? Not quite. And Carl Benson is in. Carl Benson is in the pits. And Carl must have not served his pit stop then. So that's actually going to give second to Andy Gillone. There's Mole, as we know, has got penalties on the board himself. Even with the penalties, Gillone's not going to give up the lead easily, but it was a little bit hard going into Sheep Dip. James is going to try side by side. It's really narrow there. Oh, wow, it is close between the Beamer and the Renault, but the BMW just about wins out. Jameson backing out of that. There's no point Jameson trying to force the move. He's going to inherit the lead at that range anyway, unless Jameson's involved in an almighty great incident that costs him 20 seconds. But Jameson on the inside coming through Lighthouse. No, still can't get it done. Gillone doing exactly what he needs to do to maintain the lead. Far. Oh, the BMW is lively and he's had a big spin. Jameson is through into the lead. Andy Gillone did everything he could to try and negate the penalty, but pushed a little bit too hard. But even still, he's still on course to maintain that second spot. But Jameson, not relying on penalties, is going to come home for the win unless he parks it. And I don't think the South African's going to do that somehow. Through Cascades for the final time. And heading towards the line. Jurgen Sterber and Jay Daniels have reunited for a battle for 9th place. So we'll catch up with them shortly, as well as Toby Owen and Colin Dunn towards the tail end of the field. Both Gillone and Jameson scraping the wall at the exit of the jump. Into the catch. And very nicely driven for both of them. And there it is, your winner here at Bannochbrae. Gillone had taken the championship lead before this round by 5 points, and I suspect he's going to swing back the other way. But Jameson takes the win. Gillone is going to take second place. Fastest lap still goes to Gillone by a good half a second as well. Oh, what might have been for Andy Gillone. But here comes David Moll. Did the penalty count swing back? Oh, it's only a second difference. David Moll could actually hang on to third. Mark Kelly, he's gained more penalties. Does he do so? Moll third. Yes, David Moll hung on to third place. Mark Kelly, in the last couple of laps, gained more penalties. Oh, Mark Kelly must be furious with himself. Roy Grassi crosses the line, 5th position. Here comes Stu Neal. Now these guys could shuffle around a little bit. Carl Benson, from holding on to a podium position, is going to cross the line in 7th place. Here comes Aaron Large, our pole sitter. Sadly, the race not going to his favour, but hanging on in there nonetheless. Crosses the line in 8th place. Jurgen Sterber did at some point claim that 9th place from Jay Daniels. It's not hanging around. What's Jurgen's penalty count? 3 seconds. Well, unfortunately, he's not, unless Jay Daniels gets the catch completely wrong, which of course he doesn't. Then Jurgen Sterber is going to lose that 9th position to Jay Daniels. But a great run for him nonetheless. Over the line they come. And there it is. Jay Daniels promoted to 9th. There's Jason Powell, who's going to cross the line in 11th place. Oh, side by side, Toby Owen and Colin Dunn. So Toby Owen manages to snatch 12th place throughout the death of the race. I don't think he needed to because of the penalty. Well, yes, actually it wouldn't make a difference because Toby Owen's got some mighty 16 seconds worth of penalties on the board. So Colin Dunn is going to re-inherit the 12th place. And Quinton Jovito, our last runner. Wow, this race has not gone well for him at all. But through the catch for the last time. And will take up the last spot. Unfortunately, he's too far back from Toby Owen to capitalise on Toby's penalty count, I think. Whew, wow. So then, before any steward's intervention, Andy Gillone did indeed gain a couple of seconds penalty right at the end, but it made no difference. Jameson takes the victory. Gillone 2, David Moll 3, Mark Kelly in 4th, Roy Grassy 5, Stu Neal 6th, Carl Benson 7th, Aaron Arden 8th, Jay Daniels 9th, Jurka Sturber in 10th, Jason Powell 11th, Colin Dunn 12th, Toby Owen 13th. He did indeed retain his position ahead of Quintus Jovido, who had his own 7-second penalty. We lost Gary Cooper and Brendan Van Heeden. Holy moly, what a race that was. So, let's see if anybody wants to have a chat to me. Well, somebody does. They've been joined by a couple of our drivers from tonight. Let's have a chat with... we actually have our podium 3. That's awesome. You've actually gotten here quicker than I was expecting, gentlemen. How dare you?
Well, it's normally you that tries to catch us in the mid-conversation. So
I don't know what you mean. You have no proof.
Right. Being fast is a force of habit, sorry.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a chat with our third place man. Guten Abend, Herr Moll.
Guten Abend.
Well, it wasn't looking like you were going to hang on to that penalty, hang on to that podium until right at the very end when Mark Kelly, who's been chasing you, then got his own penalties. A great effort nonetheless. It was a well-deserved third place. How do you feel after that?
Well, exhausted for once. Mark Kelly was really giving me a good fight. I didn't know if he already did his pit stop or not, so it was really just send it and hope for the best. And in the end, it luckily went well. His penalty really helped. I don't think I would have gotten him on a pace otherwise. But yeah, that was an absolute awesome race. I'm so happy that I got that.
Now, Bannochbrae being one of those tracks that, of course, isn't ingrained in our kind of racing psyche. How did you feel coming into a track that really isn't that familiar to you?
Truth be told, it's very familiar. On my team, we often drive on that track because it's one of our favorites, and it always makes interesting races.
You're a friend of mine saying things like that. I love this track.
Yeah, it's an awesome track, and it makes for some really unique experiences. I really enjoyed that. So in that case, I came prepared, but I was still expecting a good hard fight for the lead. But I underestimated apparently how good the competition is.
You did brilliantly well. But a great way to head into the half point in the season. How are you thinking of the season moving forward? Dubai next time around. What are your thoughts for that?
Dubai is a tag-all gift. It can go everywhere. And if you look back at my racing history, it goes either completely wrong or completely right. So I haven't thrown that dice yet.
Feast or famine, but we look forward to it either way. Thank you very much, David Moll.
Immer gerne wieder.
Mr. Gillone.
Yeah.
That start was a little too good.
It was literally like a 10th of a second, if that. A bit premature. The red light was on for a long time. And
it's always the way, though, isn't it?
I guess
it's that difference between an absolutely cracking start and penalty.
Yeah, I actually thought I got away with it because you can actually go on red light.
You can,
but it's literally
risky,
insanely fine line. And I thought I got it. I thought I absolutely nailed it. But yeah, I just guessed, and it was held for just a fraction too long.
I mean, you still gave it absolutely everything, only gaining another 2-second penalty right at the death. But what's the race?
It was messy at the end.
It did get a little messy for you. What happened?
I don't know. Well, I was talking to somebody that was having an issue with a potential disqualification from their machine, saying that they need to pit when they'd already pitted. So I was kind of discussing that. That was the first mistake. Because, it kind of punishes you if you're not really paying much attention. So. Yeah, it was a proper Colin McRae kind of if in doubt, flat out, give it everything sideways as best ways. But yeah, just making a couple of scrappy mistakes at the end and getting a bit bitten, but thankfully kind of got away with it. The pace was enough to kind of keep the podium. But it wasn't too far away behind.
That it did.
Second penalty.
That it did. Well, very true. Yeah, indeed. Thoughts for Dubai next time around?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know what layout it is. If it's the full track, then maybe. Hopefully the little front wheel drive training cars will burn the tires up. But yeah, I don't know. I like the track. I generally only know the full layout, but yeah, we'll see. I didn't get an awful lot of time to practice for this one. Had a 6-hour at Brands Hatch last night, so most of the practice was for that. A bit of practice before tonight, and then a little bit earlier on in the week last week. But other than that, it's been a case of just nail the throttle to the floor.
That's certainly paid off for the most part well for you tonight, and good luck for the second half of the season. Thank you very much, Andrew Gillone.
Thank you.
Well, hello again, Mr. Jameson.
Good evening.
So, qualifying in fourth, what happened in qualifying? Because your pace in the race was just unmatched.
Yeah, qualifying was a bit odd. So my first run was just a bit scruffy, and I just didn't put in a great lap. And I came into the pits to get a new set of tires on, and then when I got out, the gearing was just completely different. Previously, where I'd been going into corners in sixth and dropping down to fifth, I was in fifth, dropping down to fourth, and it just seemed like it wasn't really accelerating for my second run. Yeah, so I just didn't really get a lap in. But yeah, as you said, the race pace was good. I think Andrew definitely had the legs on me at the start. But yeah, I decided to roll the dice and not pit for tires in the race, which went terribly because I forgot to turn the repair damage option off, and my pit crew decided to resolve some gearbox wear that I had, which wasn't
Oh dear.
wasn't ideal. So that ruined my strategy a bit. So I was hoping to actually come out in front of Andrew. I'm not sure whether he changed tires or not, but I think he did.
I think he did.
In which case I was hoping to jump in front of him without the tire change, but that didn't go my way. But yeah, then fortunately, with my freshly repaired engine, I could absolutely hammer it for the last few laps. And yeah, seemed to catch up to him all right.
Yeah, didn't that work well for you? Crikey. It absolutely ruined the gap that was there. Thoughts for Dubai then, second half of the season?
It's not a track I'm hugely familiar with. But again, I think like Andrew said, I know the sort of main layout, but nothing else, and I'm not sure which one we're doing. But I do enjoy that layout. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a good time out.
I have no doubt about that at all. Congratulations on yet another win, and good luck for the remainder of half of the season. Thank you very much, Alex Jameson.
Cheers, thank you very much.
And that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have you with us. Next week, there was a break. Nothing going on then, but we will be back on the 13th of December for Dubai for round 5 of the VTCC. So do come back to us then. Same place, same time. We will have round number 5 underway. Until then, thank you very much. Stay safe out there and see you very soon. Thank you very much and good night.